We're playing right now NGS. So let's get started.
Instruction.
Hey everyone, this is Monarchy, and today we're going to talk about how to improve NGS. So our first topic is going to be talking about alliance. So how can we improve and change the alliance in a different way? I guess we'll begin. So how do we change the different point of view of the alliance? Because as of now, how Sega made an alliance, it doesn't involve create a space, it doesn't involve pretty much anything to work with a group or in a party. It doesn't work as well as, being on a team player. And, any co-op related content. It doesn't do anything. It's just there. Even though they made Alliance create a space, doesn't really do much. The mag doesn't really do shit other than buffing. What I've learned in Throne of Liberty and other games, the Alliance, Clan, Guild, whatever it may be, it gives something to the players that motivates them and have a target or a goal they set themselves to do certain things, and like a bar that they want to complete on a certain task or whatever. Sorry about that. Whatever it may be. Like for an example, Throne of Liberty, when you're in a guild, and let's say, for an example, an alliance, when you're in an alliance or a guild, what benefit is that it doesn't matter how many people are in the alliance on a certain party or group that they are trying to do a certain completion in a certain mission or quest, task, side mission, whatever you want to call it, or there always a goal in mind for you could reach and also partake on certain things. For an example, there is a raid that guild members are allowed to do with their alliance, and also their members. Sorry. So, what does that tell you? There's a lot of things involved, and so much activities you do, the more points you wrapped up and you earn, and it's sustained to your player. So each individual player has their own points, kind of like when we're doing seasonal event. In the seasonal event, you have your points and how much points you gathered, right? But these, the and seasonal points is not even it's limited and it won't sustain. So it's not permanent. And the case that they should do is have it permanent. So let's see. What do we have for alliance? If I go to all storage, let's see. Nothing there. We have reward medal, but that doesn't involve alliance. That's pretty much your own shit. Um, let's see. I guess material. Recycle badges. I wouldn't say it's mission badges. Oh, alliance badges. Okay. So I think they should make it a thing and reuse alliance badges in a different way, a different concept. So, as like I was saying, something permanent that you keep gaining a lot, kind of like, you know, these materials. It's gonna be exactly the same thing, but it's, kind of getting these beta reactors or these mission badges. Mission badges, alliance badges should be something the same that you could earn in alliance. So regardless how many people that you have, or you're in a party with, it would benefit players to gain those type of materials and have a separate store that's for alliance that can help improve the state of the game and in-game materials, because other materials that we mostly get every time, it's mostly benefit for players, beginner players, or players that's coming back into the game. But we need something that benefit us as the community and as well as the current players that's playing the game as of now, from state of the game and in game. So there should be certain materials that's a little bit hard to get, but you have to be in an alliance or guild to get those certain materials that you will be able to have access. So if players doesn't want to be in alliance or guild, they won't be able to have access. But if, let's say, if someone chooses to be a solo player, they will be able to have access to those materials, but it's going to be slower to get and harder to get. So it's not cock blocking. It's, you could get this almost exactly the same amount of materials, but it's going to be slower for you because you're just a solo player, one entity player. And if you're, grouping with other players, then, it's beneficial for you to gain a little bit more, but it's going to be less. So that's what I've seen in Throne of Liberty. It benefits you to have more access to be an alliance. However, but the more alliance or more players that you're party with, you'll have less loot, but it's greater, it's equality and quantity to do that, because it's going to benefit you in the long run. So the more monsters you kill as a group, the more material you're going to rack up. So players that single player or solo that can gain more by being solo, chopping all the monsters down. However, they get almost as much as a party player. However, it's going to be slower because he's not taking a lot of bodies as a party group. So it's a balance, but at the same time, it's, unbalanced a little. That's what we kind of need to balance the system in a certain way that benefit two parties, but also you can see the odds and the difference. So if you want to stick to solo playing, that's how it's going to be. You could gain almost the same amount of materials. However, it's going to be slower for that one person because he only could take out certain amount of bodies of enemies, and a full group that the same amount of materials. However, more players, more bodies that they could take care of. That's the only difference. But pretty much almost the same thing. One is slower, one is slightly a little faster. But even though a little bit faster, you're gonna decrease a certain amount of materials, but you're gaining more. That's the only difference. With that, there should be certain quests and tasks that it would benefit players, especially to change it up a bit, adding Discord. For players could intertwine, even if they don't have, let's say I have Discord connected to a console, but it's not connected to the official website, which is fine. At the very least, if the alliance, you have the same name for like an alliance or something like that, and has to be one person that is connected to the official website, then that person could add on a bot from the official website to their Discord server, which how you get updates and things like that. But this bot is going to be slightly different, and it's going to work in a different way for giving players something to do other than just the same old task that you have in the game. Discord is going to give you something else that, depending what type of player that you are, what kind of style, and what class that you're using, what weapon you're using, and if you're a male or female character. So with that, it gives you a broad range of learning or doing things in the game. If you want to do, from starting from, let's say, training, because if you want to get you some trainings done, because there's a training level that they could implement, or something like mini games in the Discord server, and then you each time that you complete a certain task or a mini game and you're playing it in the game, it would count. People might just like uncheck or things like that, but however, um, that it's gonna give you a quiz, and each quiz is gonna be different from each individual player. Not all quizzes are the same. So it's making sure you did that certain task and what things that you did into that certain mission or things like that. So you're more engaged and more involved on figuring out how to do this and answering certain questions or puzzles or riddles here and there if people like certain things. Because that's why I said, oh, that bot is going to be unique, because once you click on the bot in Discord, if Sega ever do that, or one of the gamers, or one of our gamers fellows or content creators create a certain bot that can fit in every player. Once they click on that bot, sign in of your character's name in NGS, and if you play on base PSO2, it would help and guide you on certain things. That's why if you kind of like you're registering for a job, so like an interview, so it's that interview or that registering for that job, that bot, it's figuring out what is your weakness, what is your strength. If you're good in puzzles, if you're bad at puzzles and things like that, or answering questions or reading or something like that, it would adapt to you. So that's why I say that Discord has to be implemented with the game itself. And slowly, if people are like using other social media, then little by little try to figure out how to implement it in Facebook, how to implement it in Instagram and all that good stuff. It's ideas how to improve and make it a better health for our community, our new community, if we able to make a new community. That's why I said they should change the name of Alliance and make it as a faction. And the idea of having a faction, it's like a hangout. Whoever is the owner of the Alliance right now and make it to a faction, it's going to be a hangout, but also think of it as a guild. So like an anime log horizon. Okay, so each guild is going to have a representative and a guild name. But with that, you're going to be recruiting members or players and things like that. But it's pretty much a huge space that's like a hangout that you could have fun, chill, but also do things on your own time. So that's why it's kind of like laid back. But also, if you want to be hardcore enough, or mid-maxer, or casual as you can be, it will, with that app that I was telling you about, with that bot, that's gonna learn the habits on, since you put the name of the character and what console, things like that, all that good BS. So it's gonna see how long that you play, how long that you're not playing, how long that you're, being AFK. So with that in mind, if people are AFKing for unknown reasons, then it would pretty much think about as like an alarm clock. It would be buzzing, or on your computer, it would have that like a ringtone. If you're AFK, it's letting you know you're taking too long. So it would be in Discord. It would have a record of how long that you are AFK. So it would let your alliance know, or your faction know, how long that you are AFK or just hanging around in safe zones. Either you have to have a good explanation why you're hanging out for that period of time long in the safe zone, or certain areas that maybe it's too crowded. You're probably trying to, like how certain content creators saying leeching. I don't see leeching bad, but also I can see it's kind of a nuisance depending what you're trying to do. Because if you're just doing this or that, and like I've always been stating, that somehow you have to drop your game and drop what you're doing, leave the control B, and then move and do something proactive. If you are in the home, or your parents, you live with your parents or things like that, you have things to do, it's understandable. Or if you have kids, it's understandable. So people shouldn't, bitch, moan, and cry when you AFK and you have something to do and something important. But there are other nuisance AFK players that, they just want to, observing, but also, they're like racking up hours. So farming hours, and also farming, getting freebies without doing anything. So, that's where Sega should have implement a timer depending how long you play in the game. And if you're AFK for a certain amount of hours, the timer starts clocking, ticking. And if you, let's say, it would give you the benefit of the doubt an hour or two. If you pass hour or two, it just boots you out of the game. But I'll play a devil's advocate on that. So what if you're AFK and you know the time that you have to move, and you just flick your remote, or you have a bot or something on the remote that does automatically do shit. So with those type of players, it would be known already what players done this or what players done that. But however, they just um trying to find a bypass. There's a roundabout for people that does bypassing of those type of things, especially like AFK or leeching, things like that. I know a certain trick. It's probably instead of 2 hours, or the person that has been watched and been flagged, their time reduction is going to be reduced. So if someone, say, oh, pointing fingers at you, and you got a strike or a warning, or you've been flagged that you're the type of person that is maybe a bot, cheating, trying to bypass, trying to find certain ways to, cheat, or, like I said, bypass, or do certain bad things, or, you just want to rack up farm hours and, free materials or whatever, and you're just lazy and you're just gonna turn your TV off or have it on one screen and you have another screen, something else to do. So with that type of players, it's gonna be easy for some people. It's gonna report, and you're gonna be watched by the company or a certain bot, and then you're gonna be booted out of the game, and you're gonna keep on getting booted if you don't stop AFKing, because you're technically, that would be involved in a malicious act, because you're scheming something and trying to find a way to maneuver, or like I said, bypass the system. And with that, you're learning and you're trying to figure out how to cheat in a certain way. Then yeah, that is into malicious act. And then after that, we don't know what else you're gonna do after. So me as a glitcher, I understand that type of concept. I understand cheating because I have cheated in Pokemon. So understanding that type of mindset and, hacker mindset of someone doing things they're not supposed to, or, taking advantage on a software or hardware, things like that. I'm very aware of those type of things. So with that being said, that would be part of TOS, that I just give you a sneak peek. But it would be nice to have certain gamers that has an alliance, certain content creators that has an alliance, and like my idea that maybe we can do it ourselves and hopefully Sega see the positive outcome of it. They might maybe change it for us. Who knows? I don't know. But it would be nice. That way they would slowly adapt and change certain things in our benefit if we start putting the one foot forward. Yeah. Other things about alliance is that factions is that you can make your own team name. So if you have a squad that you hang out a lot and you have like these friends or new players that you get along. You can make a name for yourself, have a name. Um, it could implement into the Alliance creative space. The Alliance creative space, they should have done it in a different way. Kind of pretty much the exact same thing that we have, but more added features. That's not just a creative space. It's more of a faction or alliance space that each and every individual can get involved, but with the owner's permission. Okay, with that being said, what can they integrate in Alliance creative space? One is a mag, but not an ordinary mag. Also, a bulletin board will come a clutch. A trading system that, let's say, for an example, if I made all these weapons, if I have so many prime armor too, or if I have prime armor and prime armor sword, sorry, and if I have a lot of these, or if I have augments, things like that, anything. If I want to put down, kind of like put down a player shop, but it's pretty much you're putting shit down for the Alliance shop that players can get for free, or they could earn it from each individual player. So let's say a player wasn't able to get this type of armor. They're struggling. You're like, okay, I could pop this and put it in the Alliance, and it's gonna be for you. However, you have to do certain things. So it's pretty much you're getting something, not out of nothing. You have to gain, in order to gain it, you have to work for it. There's a goal for you to get something like something nice, and or if they want to give it to you just like that, you can, but you have to put uh, there's there's ways like that you could just get it like that if you don't have that much time, and if you're not, that enthusiastic for doing certain uh, competitions or battles, and you know urgent quests and things like that, but you are helping in a different way, then everyone benefits. So it would be nice to have different choices on that type of feature. But like I said, um, there should be certain materials that Alliance can only get. So you had to be an Alliance or make your own. So like that, you don't need to have a hassle of a whole squadron. And if you want to be a solo player, just make your own type of alliance, and you could pretty much have the same benefit. The only thing I would say is that you have to upgrade your alliance. So how we upgraded, how the alliance mag, how you have to add certain materials to make it to the max mag. Well, the mag won't be like that, so no one will get that benefit. You had to increase the mag's benefit according to increasing the alliance create a space level. That's how you improve the mag. And what certain buffs you are prioritize. I think that would be a way that would benefit players and have something to do. Not just, I'm gonna shove all this material shit to a mag and it's maxed out. No. It's, you have to level up the mag. No, sorry. You have to level up the alliance so you could level up the mag. So if the alliance, so faction now, if the faction's level is 5, the mag can only reach up to 5. And till you are able to max out the alliance, create a space, that's how you're able to max out the mag. So it would be tedious, but it would benefit how, because you're giving players something to do, but also not something that it's boring or they have to, do it. That is tedious thing, and they're gonna slowly burn out. Something creative, something that's worthwhile, that hasn't implemented before. And I'd say before maintenance, the mag will be shut down, or you had to repair the mag. Because if you don't repair the mag, the mag is unfunction, and so you have to repair the mag. You have to get certain materials to repair the mag. However, even if you repair the mag, there must be something unique in order for fully be repaired and 100%. So that's where the Alliance Creative Space has to do. That there is a raid or a battle that you have to do. So let me give you an idea, an example. So how to complete and fix the mag to 100%. So the way that they should do is no. Okay. Well, the way that I think they should do is you have to go to Lucille, or no, Nameless City and Lucille, because there are certain items that you have to get, and also get data information to repair Alliance Mag. Once you went to these two areas, then you have to go to, where is it? Geo's Labyrinth. So once you go here, you only need to go to the first one, and you have to have a player, 12 players into that Geo Labyrinth, and it's it would say for Alliance only. And forget the battle power, you have to be a certain level. So for if you get newcomers and things like that, I think the best level would be level 30. low 30 or low 50. Uh, yeah, low 50 or right here where it says 65. That'll be perfect. So you don't need to worry about battle power. All what you need to worry about is to survive as long as possible and fight a certain boss. So once you fight a certain boss, then you gain a certain material, only one material from that boss that you could get. But you have to make a wise choice which material that you need to get. So once you destroy the boss, you go to this area of the labyrinth. We could say it could be in the center or it could be on top of the pyramid. So and there will be boxes, and the boxes will be different color coded boxes as well as the name of what material. You have to pick out a certain material. If you pick out the wrong material, then you have to do the labyrinth again. So once you do it again till you found out what material that you need, then the pyramid, collapse or turn invisible or something like that, or the shield goes back up till the next um, maintenance or when it's about to be maintenance. It would give players something to do and things like that. That's just one idea of how to make the alliance more entertaining. Like that, you'll be able to get a title and the rank time, I would say. But no, I wouldn't say rank time. You get a certain title, a unique title, a repaired, something repaired, or maintenance repairman, or maintenance something. Yeah. Anyways, that's what I think that they should do, and a unique creative space. I would, yeah, you need something unique, maybe a plushie, or better yet, you could get a plushie, but as well as a certain material that you had to gain and collect. So you have to get 5 or 7 unique items to create a what's it called? Let me go to my creative space. Ah, I just remembered. Um, Build parts. You get a unique build part that you could let's say you could put something right here or anywhere in your creative alliance creative space that you could collect certain material or certain material or certain item that you could grow. And then for the next you know, each and every um, maintenance, there's going to be a certain event before maintenance, so the day after maintenance. So you get one special material for each and every player. So each and every player will have a certain material. They could either share it or save it for themselves, that they could use it in their creative space or alliance space. And as much as you gain more materials of those, let's say unique or rare materials, that it could benefit your creative space, or it could benefit your alliance space. And one could be the alliance tree or creative tree. That is going to be, we could say it's going to be a world tree, for an example. That if you have two, one for your creative space, one for your alliance, each and every, holiday, you could gain a certain gift. So that's, enough being said. There are other things that could, adapt and make it more fun. And also, a little mini farm that you could, each character that you kill, or each doll that you kill, you need to have a certain percentage or certain part of the doll, or a seed of the doll, or a blood type or something like that, where you could clone. So you need a clone device to clone that doll, so you could have it into your farm. And each individual doll is a unique that could give you something, or help you. It could be a little worker, or help you farm certain things, or there's a certain doll that you could take it to exploration zone, so it goes in an exploration zone in a certain region, so it could collect things, materials, meat, berries, whatever. And also brings in Maceta. And there will be, maybe a very rare or exotic or legendary doll. That little, let's see if I have it. If you have, Emperor Rappy doll. Oh, where is it? Okay. Emperor Rappy doll or Captain doll. Then the captain will pretty much give you, it can farm SG. Emperor Rappy could help you gain, if there's seasonal events, could help you gain some points, extra points, and you could send it to seasonal event, and you could gain, this amount of points. As you collect the max, you could put it again as you collecting points, as you're farming as well. And if you're like off the game, it could gain that materials for you. So if you have to miss out for a certain reason, you could send out those type of dolls. Just an idea. And also Mag could have something involved too with the lions. But, I'll let you guys use your imagination, run wild with it. But yeah, there's many things that Sega can do, or we could do as gamers or as content creators. we could do many fun, good things. But, you know, we all have to pitch in and work together, and hopefully, you know, invite me for we could start chatting, having a conversation in Discord, and see where it goes. Maybe someone that's very, you know, knows how to create bots in Discord. Maybe create something that would benefit us as gamers, and for everyone can use it. Or create an app. You know, there's things that can help us stay longer in this game or make this game a little bit more fun for us. But I'll leave it at that. I'll see you guys later. Peace.